So in this video, we're going to get just a few LEDs lighting up, probably just that first panel over there in the corner in the bottom left, and then from there, we'll talk about some of the interface, UI. If you haven't heard or seen any of the earlier videos, I highly recommend checking it out because we won't spend too much time on it this video. But just a quick recap so we can kind of get to the good stuff in the next video. So, first things first, let's talk about our hardware setup and what we have hooked up. So on this Advotech Assistant, you can see I have 4 devices. We can ignore all of them except for one for now, which is this first one. And this is hooked up to my router, which is on top of that black box back there, and the router is hooked up to the PC, so we just have those 3 things networked. And this is just expecting ArtNet. So if we go into the settings here, I can show you a bit about what we have here. Very straightforward. I've just used the automatic sequential order here. I've unchecked it, but this is essentially just one output to the next back to back. So it's expecting data to be configured the same way. And we have an IP address, 10.10.10.40. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to live. Everything's going to get really dark. And that's okay. We can go ahead and get started now and get that first panel lit up. So the first thing I want to do, if I haven't already, is start a new project. From here, we've got nothing in our outliner. As you can see, our scene is empty, so I'm going to start off by creating a device. So as soon as you create the device, you can click to place it, or you can right-click to just reset it to the default location. By the way, if you haven't seen the hotkeys and you don't know what they are, we'll be using them throughout this video. Just click on Tools and be in Object Mode, and you can just hover over any of these and you can see some of the hotkeys that we'll be using. Duplicate, what else? We got the select modes, there's several keys. So yeah, just look through that, hover your mouse over it, and you can see a bit about what the controls are. Anyways, we've got the device, we've created it, now we just need to set it to ArtNet mode. So I'll basically select my device and click ArtNet over here under Protocol, and then the default settings for the most part are fine. However, the one thing we want to go ahead and make sure we have set is our address, right? So back in our Advotech Assistant, we have 10.10.10.40. So go and type that in here, 10.10.10.40. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and turn this on. Nothing's going to happen yet because we have no fixtures in our scene. But we're going to get that going here next. So let's go ahead and position this up a little bit. Let's get it away from the origin. And now we can make our first fixture. So to do that, we'll go over here to the Create tab. And we can click Fixture from the Technology menu. And once you've done that, you can just right-click to leave it at the origin if you want. And this fixture is now ready for us to add pix to. A pix is the component that holds a number of channels. In our case, for right now, this is going to be red, green, blue. You might have noticed this warning area down here. This tells us some things, but we can pretty much ignore this because we're going to be rectifying this soon anyways. But so essentially the first thing we want to do here once we have the fixture made is go into Hull, which is a sub-object mode, and you can tell you're in that mode because the edge goes orange. If you go into Pix, it turns blue, and then if you go into Object, there's no border. So be in Hull mode, and then you'll want to go up here to Tool mode and select Hull Add. Right, we want to be able to add hulls to our scene, and then right away we can see that we have an orange snap bubble here, and we just want to hold S on our keyboard, which enables snapping, and then we'll just click right there. And once we've done that, we'll see a little 0 pop up, which means we have hull 0, which is right on top of our origin. And that's good. And right off the bat, when you add hulls, they should be selected, but I'm going to go ahead and click Select All, make sure we have that selected. And then after I do that, I'll click Generator from Selection, which is the top option here. And once we've done that, we've created a generator. And we should, once we configure this generator, see some actual pixels here in the scene. So I'm going to change the gen type from strip to grid. And right now they're black, which is actually an issue that I have in the settings. You should not have this turned off if you're loading up a fresh scene, but if you are, for whatever reason, have this off, just make sure you toggle default projector on. And so right away we have some light. We have our default ramp doing its spiral thing. You go to the I/O mode and just hit H on the keyboard. Well, you have to have it selected. You can zoom in and out and right click mouse pan to the default ramp, which is right here. You can select it and you can basically choose a different ramp mode if you'd like. We're going to be using these to actually map things in the next tutorial, but for now this is just fine. So I'll go ahead and choose the radial. It's fine. And so yeah, we have one fixture, we have a device, and that's pretty much it. Last thing I want to do is name a few of these things so we can work with them and know what they are. So device 1, we'll call this device Pixlite 1. And that's looking good. We're going to go ahead and leave this alone because we're going to just end up rebuilding this in the next tutorial a little bit differently. You'll see why. And that's going to be pretty much it for this tutorial. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll go and build this full array on the garage, and we'll get this thing going and in one piece by the end of that tutorial. Thanks.